Welcome to the Top 25 Most Inspiring Women in Cyber Awards. Tonight is about celebrating inspiring women in cyber, both for the sake of women themselves, but also for what they represent for women inside and outside of the industry, and the roles women can and should be doing. Women play an equal part in defending us all, and by increasing the diversity of our approach and taking on board a wider range of perspectives, as well as increasing social justice, we close our industry's skills gap along the way. Now, whilst women are just one of the underrepresented groups, and we acknowledge that there is work to be done to increase diversity across the board, women are half of the population and well known for increasing the full range of diversity when placed in leadership roles. And that's why tonight's focus is on women. Shining a light on women's achievements is important because women need to see other women succeeding in things they want to do if they're going to believe they can also succeed. And when women are coping with negative stereotypes that cast doubt on their abilities to perform well, research has revealed that having visible female role models helps to counter this by ensuring women feel less alienated. So before I introduce the winners, I'd just like to say that my fellow judges also represent some of the most inspiring women in cyber and would have certainly got my vote had they been included. There were also some great nominees doing excellent work who are not included though, as well as countless women working tirelessly away from the public eye that we never get to hear about. For me, these winners represent us all, and it's my hope that they live up to tonight's billing. We want these women to inspire more young women to join the sector and fuel the ambition of those already here, that there is no height they cannot reach.
Hi, I'm Lynn Studd. I'm the Director of Global Secure Solutions at BT. We are delighted to be the platinum sponsor at this event, celebrating the careers of women in cybersecurity. BT are absolutely committed to helping women enter and progress in this industry. And although we have seen an increase in the number of women in STEM industries, there's still surprisingly few involved with cyber. And this matters to us not just at a moral or altruistic issue, but also at a commercial level. Diversity in the workforce is crucial in so many ways. We need people who can bring a different perspective and approach to projects, as well as change convention and anticipate change. Evidence shows that enhancing both innovation and flexibility, workforce diversity positively impacts both business performance and profitability. When the benefits are so clear, we should not have to make a case for why we are supporting women in industry. Yet we know that women still don't see cyber as something for them, and that may be because they believe it's too technical or systems driven. But the reality is there's a huge range of roles in this industry and a wide variety of transferable skills which can really give you a good foundation to a career in cyber. More has to be done to demystify what cybersecurity is and explain the role that security professionals play in help keeping individuals safe in their daily lives. That includes looking at how we impact and talk about cybersecurity. So as an example, making it more relatable to focusing on outcomes, making a difference, simplifying the complex and improving people's lives. This can really help a more diverse range of candidates see the connection and look for a career in this sector. That's why we're really keen to support events like this, as well as wider programmes. For example, the NCSC's Cyber First programme has done a really fantastic job of reaching out to secondary school girls who are making decisions around their careers and their future that will potentially impact their whole lives. We at BT have also launched our largest ever employee brand campaign, We Are the Protectors, which I'd really encourage you to go and check out for a view on how we've changed our approach to positioning and promoting roles in cybersecurity. Throughout all of this, we know it's not just about attracting people into the industry, but also keeping them there. So offering opportunity, progression is key too. We invest a lot of time in developing and training people and looking at their career pathways to enable them to progress. In the current climate, it's vital that we think innovatively about how we can reach out to support women and encourage those outside to want to join us. This especially applies to the younger generation who've been particularly impacted this year by the disruption to enter the workforce and also the disruption to their education in 2020. While we look forward to when we can meet again at events like this face to face, today has been a great opportunity to celebrate women's achievements in the industry, and I really hope you enjoy the event. Thank you.
On behalf of Platinum sponsor Kaspersky, I am delighted to introduce the next group of the most inspiring women in cybersecurity UK 2020. Kaspersky is particularly keen to support this initiative, highlighting a range of women who have proved inspirational for different reasons, some business leaders, others highly technical, or exquisite strategists, or combination of all three. At Kaspersky, we have long recognized that talent has no gender, with our brilliant female developers achieving great results, being perfect role models, proving that cybersecurity doesn't belong to men coding in hoodies only. Being a leading cybersecurity vendor, Kaspersky clearly values the proper balance of representation when developing our technologies, ensuring that both the industry and society are not missing out on the needs of half of the population. We are also very keen to ensure that industry includes all of its most capable individuals, regardless gender, to safeguard, strengthening cybersecurity for all of us, building better future together. So without further ado, meet our next selection of winners, recognized as the most inspiring woman in cyber.
It's a real honour to have been included amongst this fantastic group of women as one of the 25 most inspiring women in cyber. I'm humbled to have been nominated so early in my tenure, but really delighted that my appointment as the Chief Executive Officer of the National Cyber Security Centre is recognised as inspirational, and I hope it will encourage other women to consider a career in this field. We're really proud to be doing our bit here at NCSC. Of the 2 NCSC CEOs, one of them has been female so far, so we've got a 50-50 track record, but we're also really keen to do more to increase female representation in the industry and inspire more women to take up a career in cyber.
Hi, good evening. Sarah Armstrong-Smith, Chief Security Advisor at Microsoft, and can I say what an absolute honour it is to be recognised as one of the most inspiring women in cybersecurity. And just a reflection back on my career and everything to this point. So if you're ever thinking about, is cybersecurity, is resilience the right place for me? Yes, yes, yes. It is one of the most amazing industries in the world. And I don't say that lightly. It's absolutely awesome place to be. When I think about now, the challenges that we're seeing post-COVID, just the innovations in technology and what's to come, I think it's one of the best industries to be in. I really enjoy it. And if you're looking for somewhere to be and to join this community. Brilliant.
Responsible for issuing fines to companies that breach the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, since the industry transforming regulation came into effect in May 2018, Elizabeth Denham is Information Commissioner at the ICO. There, she's fully committed to increasing consumer trust in what happens to their personal data. Of course, this means ensuring companies are transparent with the public and how personal information is used, and Denham has already launched investigations into Yahoo, Camelot, WhatsApp and Facebook, and most recently issued the ICO's biggest fine to date, a $20 million fine for BA's 2018 data breach. She previously held the position of Information and Privacy Commissioner for British Columbia, Canada, and Assistant Privacy Commissioner of Canada.
Hello, my name is Chani Sims and I'm the Managing Director of Meta Defense Labs and founder of SheCISO. I want to say thank you to Tony and his team at IT Guru. I'm really honored that you have recognized me as top 25 most inspirational women in the industry. It's a great honor, and I think it's not my own efforts. There's a lot of team effort goes into what we do, and I think everyone should be recognized. And I'm doing these things because I feel frustrated sometimes with how things happen, and I want to do something to be the change. And that's why all the runs on LinkedIn, social media, and trying to create awareness around why emotional intelligence is important, why cybersecurity is important, and why leadership is important, good leadership or solid leadership. And that's why we want to create emotionally intelligent cybersecurity leaders. And it's all about CISO. And yeah, so I hope that people will look at these things and the work that we do in the industry and try and do their part to make a difference. Thank you very much.
Holly Foxcroft is an associate lecturer at Chichester College, teaching a blend of technical and non-technical cybersecurity subjects and developing the future curriculum to include cybersecurity modules. She's also STEM apprenticeship executive and cybersecurity lead at Highbury College. Parallel to this, she's a neurodiversity consultant working alongside schools, colleges, individual support, parents and companies. An advocate for inclusion, Foxcroft tirelessly works to create an equal platform and champion neurodiverse individuals and offer people opportunities to start a career in cybersecurity. She's currently in her final year at Portsmouth University, where she's conducting research to understand neurodiverse cybercrime offenders and offer support and guidance to practitioners.
Hello everybody, and thank you very much to IT Security Guru and all the judges for selecting me. I'm very proud to be in the company of such an impressive group of women. I consider myself a non-technical person, and I think my selection reflects the great scope of cybersecurity and the variety of opportunities within it. My interests range from matters of international security right through to what's known as human security, and includes the individual's access to such things as basic human rights and a safe environment. My work is wonderfully varied and spans education, research, policy, consultancy, and community service. I suspect it was my voluntary service that led to my selection. Earlier in my career, I'd never have imagined myself being recognised in this way, and I want to encourage other women just starting out in their careers to consider how they might be able to give something back to their professional communities, and hopefully in due course find that this leads to unexpected opportunities opening up for them. Thanks again to you all, and enjoy the rest of the night.
By the time you see this message, my world domination will be complete. Ah ha 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 ha.
Actually, do you know what? Oh, that's better. I don't need to do this anymore. And neither do you, because I'm thrilled to be able to celebrate with you that you no longer have to be a faceless guy in a hoodie to work in cyber. Do you see what I did there? And I'm, in all seriousness, honoured to be chosen as one of the 25 most inspiring women in cyber by some of the most inspiring humans that I know. Thanks a million. Cheers.
Sharon Barber is Chief Security Officer, Lloyds Banking Group, a role she's held since 2017, having joined the bank in 1985. As part of her role, Barber heads up the group's Chief Security Office division, responsible for cyber, physical and information security activities. She leads the operational resilience strategy and implementation for the group, working closely with regulators and government. She also leads the group's incident response to the COVID-19 crisis.
Thank you very much for including me on this list of inspiring women. It is an honour to be among such great company. I am particularly pleased that a social engineer is on this list because it shows that you can have diverse skills and expertise and backgrounds and still make it onto Inspiring Women in Cyber list. So thank you very much for including me, and congratulations to everyone. Let's hope that next year the winners can meet in person. Take care and stay safe.
Eliza May Austin is the founder and director of Ladies of London Hacking Society. Now expanded beyond London, it's an organisation dedicated to providing opportunities and a welcoming space for women to develop and hone the technical skills often critical for success. Austin is seen as inspirational by her peers, hence her well-deserved place on this list. She's against the idea of women-only lists and awards because she thinks they hinder the progression women have made in the industry. Austin says, "Pitting women against one another in a subsection of an already small industry confuses me. It would be great if we could get to a place where we recognise good work regardless of what reproductive system someone has. Diversity of opinion, thought and backgrounds is incredibly important and beneficial to creativity in teams," says Austin, adding, "Prioritise that and you'll end up with a diverse range of people anyway."
Hello! On behalf of Noble4, which is sponsoring the Most Inspiring Women in Cyber UK 2020, I'm delighted to introduce our next panel discussion, which is I don't want to be recognised as a woman in cyber, but a person in cyber. While this event is a celebration of women's achievement in cyber, showcasing role models at the very highest levels, despite being underrepresented in the sector as a whole, we do recognise that some women object to the very idea of having these separate lists. So on this panel, we'll be confronting this issue head-on. We'll be asking if there's a need for women's lists in this industry. What are the benefits of promoting role models? What other steps can be taken to promote and encourage more women to join the cybersecurity industry? Joining me in the discussion are Jane Franklin, Kate O'Flaherty, Mibby James, Lynn Studd, Alina Dobchi, and Dashini Newman, along with moderator, IT security guru and editor-in-chief, Tony Morbin. Thank you.
My name's Tony Morbin, and as editor-in-chief of IT Security Guru, I'll be moderating our panel discussion. So I hope you're not too disappointed that it's not an all-female lineup. Now, while this event is about recognising and promoting female role models in cyber, we know that not everybody agrees with this approach. So we'll be asking our panellists, is there a need for women-only lists in this industry? And what are the benefits of promoting role models? And what other steps can be taken to encourage more women to join and succeed in cybersecurity? Now I'm going to ask the panellists to introduce themselves. We can start with you, Jane.
Thanks so much for that, Tony. So I'm really excited to be here. So I'm an award-winning entrepreneur, a best-selling author and keynote speaker. I've been named as a top 20 global influencer in cybersecurity, a top 100 UK influencer in tech, LinkedIn Top Voices, a global digital ambassador. And this year, I've got to share this with you, National Cyber Citizen of the Year. I'm really excited about that, actually. And I'm also kind of leading the way on how to attract and retain women in cybersecurity specifically. I've spent over 22 years in cyber, built and sold my own hacking firm, and directed some of the world's most well-known cybersecurity consultancies. Today, and this is quite exciting news, I'm the managing director of Accenture's Applied Cybersecurity Services division. I'm specializing in cloud. I'm also a director of Women in Cyber for Tech Talent Academy, and I'm also the managing director of my own company. So I have pretty much a portfolio career. Got 3 kids. I am obsessed about delivering outstanding quality and making a positive difference in the world. So that's who I am.
I'm Lynn Studd. I work for BT in BT Security, and I run a team of approximately 800 people. We sell cyber security services to government and to law enforcement. I also have a family. I have 2 boys, and I'm an advocate for diversity in the workplace and really leading and pushing on that in BT. And I was named as one of the most 50 influential women last year, so understand that, but really looking forward to the debate today.
Hi, Tony, ladies. I'm very grateful for being invited to this conversation, honestly. It is very important to me. I have a friend of mine. She's a psychologist, and she does this research. She asks only one question, and she wants this question to be answered with only one word. So what is the thing that we gonna be proud of? How we can describe ourselves from the past into the future? And to my own surprise, actually, my answer was, when she did the research, when she asked me, my answer was that I'm proud of being a mathematician, actually, which I'm already probably not, by the way, because the university happened many, many years ago. So my name is Alina Dobchi, and I'm a mathematician, or probably already not, who works for Kaspersky, a leading security software company. And I take pride in being a leader
to many people, and I enjoy solving problems and enjoy overcome the obstacles of various origins.
Hi, I'm Mivy James. I'm Digital Transformation Director and Head of Consulting at BAE Systems Applied Intelligence. I've worked in the tech industry for 25 years now, which is something that I'm kind of getting to an age where I'm kind of reluctant to admit exactly how many years experience I have, and sort of a bit of vanity creeping in. I did a computer science and maths degree all those years ago, so I've always worked in the tech industry. What I do these days is really work with across various government departments on their digital transformation strategies. Started my career as a developer, and I've kind of incrementally moved through sort of technology leadership into doing more advisory type stuff now. I'm also the founder of my organisation's Gender Balance Network, which I founded about 4 years ago, maybe coming up for 5 now. Not a coincidence that was when I came back from maternity leave. And I think sort of having noticed the gender imbalance in the tech industry throughout my career, there was something about becoming a parent that created a sense of urgency. And you sort of do a lot of reflection, I think, when you become a parent. And I realised that things hadn't really changed during my career up until that point. And I decided I'd reached a point of seniority where I could influence things for the better. And last year, I was honoured to be included in the top 50 influential women in cybersecurity list in the UK.
My name is Anna Collard, and I'm currently the SVP of Content Strategy and Evangelist for KnowBe4 Africa. KnowBe4 is a leader in the cybersecurity awareness space, so all we do is advocating cybersecurity to end users and corporate employees. Before that role, I was the founder and managing director of a cybersecurity awareness content publisher called Popcorn Training. We were acquired by KnowBe4 in 2018. And before I ran my own business, I worked since 2001, so I'm also showing my age, in the cybersecurity space as a security consultant, architect, auditor at South Africa's largest integrator. I did work for them both in Europe, in the States, as well as South Africa. I'm a mom. I've got 2 children. I'm very passionate about building the security capacity in Africa, particularly attracting more young girls to the industry. Something else I've recently started getting into is battling or finding a way to fight gender-based violence online, which is actually a massive problem, and we don't have enough solutions to help victims in that space. And it's actually concerningly big, that problem, once you dig into it. And yeah, that sums up who I am.
I'm Deshni Newman, and I perceive myself as a global citizen. I was born in South Africa, so it was great to hear Anna a bit earlier. Lived in Greece for a number of years and then came to the UK. So experience across the world, working internationally in previous roles and the current role. I'm very much an advocate for diversity, equity and inclusion, and I feel quite strongly about the statement and making the statement and ensuring people know that I am an immigrant, and being an immigrant is not a dirty word. So I'm quite keen to bring that out and ensure we can have more diversity in terms of what we do and how we do it as well. As managing director of ISC Squared, a Mear region, I'm responsible for ensuring that we can get our mission out to keep a safe and secure cyber world globally, and bring our training and certifications to the cybersecurity community. I was recognized last year as one of the top 50 most influential women in cybersecurity. And for me, that was a recognition for all the people I work with in terms of what they do and how they do it. And yes, my name to that, but it was really a team effort and everything we do that made that happen. I am a mum to a young boy that I'm very proud of. He's an Diana Award holder. And one of the things I've always said to him is don't compete with anybody else. Each person is a winner on their own. And that's a great thing about being on this panel as well. I know that there's only a limited number of women we will recognize through this, but everybody's a winner. Everyone has put themselves forward, and every woman that is out there, balancing everything that we do to try and succeed in our careers. I say congratulations to all of you.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Deshni. And as you say, we are here celebrating role models. And as the judges among you know, we could have easily had twice the number with no problem whatsoever. And you had a terrible job trying to narrow it down. But having said that, we're here to promote role models, and that's why we've done the list. But some of the winners themselves, actually, there were two women on the list who said, look, I'm not really sure about being on this list. I'm not comfortable with the idea of women-only lists. It can be seen as divisive. Are you saying that we can't compete with the men? I would like to ask each of you again in turn what your view is of the pros and cons of such lists, and if you think on balance they're a good thing, or if you think the sooner we get rid of them the better.
I really understand women saying that, or people saying that. I really do, because it is divisive. But here's where I think that we need to encourage more women to apply for awards. We need to showcase more women, and something like an award for a woman enables that. So it just means that we can actually get the spotlight on women, and we are a minority in the workforce. So it enables us to do that. It enables women to build their confidence. And also, these aren't usually just awards. These are networking opportunities as well. So this means that women can come together and actually network, and women do need to network much more and treat it as an asset. I always like to think of every woman, in our workforce is a role model, but becoming visible is another matter. And when you do become visible, it is really key to helping you actually develop your career. So the awards are great under normal circumstances. It enables women to meet up and to network and to celebrate together and to come together and to discuss things as women, because we are different to men. And I think, I'm always saying it's okay to be different. Actually, it's really good to be different. So having an award like, say, for instance, this one, and celebrating the top 25 women is a good thing. Yes, women can go head to head with men and just have an award. I've got lots of awards where it's just like the one that I showed you a minute ago. That's not a women's award. It's a citizens award. So there's no difference at all. So in my opinion, we need both for quite different reasons.
I too think that they're a good thing. I mean, really, at the end of the day, when we don't have lists is probably when we'll be successful, and there'll be a good balance between men and women in the cyber industry. But I think at the moment the lists are really important, because people that want to aspire to come into this industry, young people starting out, they want to be able to see people that are successful in these roles. And I think the biggest thing we should do is being on this list, almost have a role after that of being on that list, and then making sure that we role model, that we attend events like this, and we live and breathe it, offer mentoring, offer development to people, so that we can use it as a real attraction tool and networking event. And I think also, hopefully, it will show younger women or women that are changing career that you don't actually have to be a stereotypical STEM person or a geek or really deeply technical. There's a huge range of roles that you can do within cyber, and not all of them are technical. So I think that's really important, and time will tell. When there aren't lists, then for sure I think we'll have been successful.
Okay. Alina, I'd be very interested to see if you have a different view coming from Russia. What's the situation there? I mean, stereotypically in the UK, we would think of, under the Soviet Union, women as taking on much more traditionally male roles much earlier than they've done over here. I don't know, is that the case?
Yeah, it's definitely still the case. So I was born, again, exposing the age. I was born a long time ago in Soviet Union, and I was raised actually and educated in Soviet Union. And actually the whole system, Soviet Union might be many things, good or bad, right? But the society was built and designed in a way that women was supposed to be a very active force, actually, of the society. And the educational system was built again and designed in a way that it allowed girls from all over the country to flourish and to go after their dreams, regardless the field of these dreams. Because, for example, my mom, she became chief engineer, technology officer for the big coal mining factory when she was only 24. So from this perspective, I was taught in a way that, you know, there is no female logic, and but also there is no male logic. There is just logic, and the same goes for talent. There is just talent, and to me, the to-be picture would be to celebrate talent, the people, the human beings in the tech industry. Probably would know least, but I regretfully have to agree with other ladies that we are not there yet.
I can see that they're a bit of a paradox. I think everything in this space ends up being a bit of a paradox. If you try to make a difference to disrupt the status quo, then you're drawing attention to doing something special for people who are different in order to treat them the same, which sounds very counterintuitive. But, you know, like sort of a few others have already said, I think the lists are absolutely necessary in order to disrupt that status quo. It creates room and opportunity for women to speak at conferences on technical topics, which I think is key, and to make room for others as well to follow in their footsteps. And I think also the sort of where there's a nomination process. I think, you know, as you know, as women in the UK, we're so conditioned to hiding our lights under our bushels, or whatever the phrase is, in that it's, you know, if we're kind of encouraged to talk about we or teams or the projects, and to kind of hide our own achievements. So by shining the spotlight on female achievement, it can kind of help cancel out perhaps some of that imposter syndrome and that sort of overly modest behaviour that we're expected to have. I think the other thing is it's hugely empowering. It can be quite isolating sometimes if you're the only woman like you in your team. You don't see other women above you. You know, all too often I've not seen a technical woman, you know, in the sort of in my reporting line, and you can kind of think, is it just me? And then if you go to a networking or a women-centric awards event in the industry, it's a real buzz. It's quite exciting. You kind of walk away and it's very uplifted, or certainly I do, because I'm like, there are hundreds of women like me. It's not just me. And so when somebody says, well, we just can't hire senior technical women, I'm like, rubbish. Look at this very big list of women and all of these women I met, or we can't find a female speaker at the conference. Tell me what subject you want, I will introduce you to somebody, because I probably met them at one of these gigs. And I think that's, you know, that's where this kind of thing becomes important.
I think it's just a numbers game. You know, I think we have 20% an average of the cybersecurity professionals that are female. In some countries it's much worse, and you have to be like extraordinarily amazing to feature, you know, or compete with all just the volume of other security professionals out there. So purely, but as a numbers game, we need to be featured more. I mean, it's the same in sports, you know. It doesn't necessarily mean we are weaker, it just means we are different. I think Jane mentioned that as well, and we have so much more to bring to the table that is different. Our brains work differently, we approach things differently, and it should be recognized. Also, just to give you an example why I feel it's so important, is we've recently conducted a survey across about 450 educators and teachers across the African continent to find out, you know, what do the people on the ground, like the people in the institutions, in the schools, what do they feel could be learning interventions to inspire more young girls in particular to join the STEM and the cybersecurity industry. And by far, the majority of the votes, of the responses that came in, was to share success stories of other women in the industry. And, you know, by having lists such as those, that's one way of finding them, you know, and giving them a stage, giving them the light to shine, and really showing the girls that there's a way to pursue a career path.
Recently, we were invited to be on a panel for, you know, quite a significant event that is held in this industry annually. And I was asked to chair that panel, and that was a male-only panel. And I turned it down, of course, I turned it down. And I told my team very clearly that you will turn it down. Nobody on my team was going to be on the panel. And the response we got was that the organizers had tried to find a female, but couldn't. Now, for me, that's just not good enough. That's not good enough. And I think having these type of events highlights to everybody that, you know, there are women who are empowered, who've taken control of their career, who need to be noticed and to be given the opportunity. There are not enough women of color in the industry. And that is something that needs to be addressed. You know, it's something that we really need to start looking at and look at how we can address that.
But are there, Dashini? Are there? We don't know.
Are there women of color?
Yeah, they just might be invisible.
They are, exactly. That's the point. So in terms of women, in our membership, we've got about 19%. In terms of women of color, there are some women I'm aware of, but I think many women are invisible. I think the point that you made is so important because they're not given the opportunity.
Absolutely. What I was also going to say is when I did some research, I did some groundbreaking research last year, and I surveyed over 2,000 women globally. So every single Africa had a voice, Asia, the Middle East, the Americas and Europe. We found that 90% of women are either speaking or want to speak. And that's, to me, that's just like, there you go. The women are there and they want to have a voice. So it's inexcusable that they could not find, more for their panel.
I'm quite interested to hear what other practical steps, because obviously not appearing on panels with no women is one step you can actually take. And the two big areas are recruitment and retention. And I'm sorry, Lynn, I'm going to go to you again. I think I've done this previously, but I know that because you are such a big recruiter of women, what actions work to increase the pool of talent or your access to the pool of talent of women who may not have even previously considered this industry, or likewise making sure that there are more women, not just in the non-STEM roles, but in the techie roles as well?
I mean, we talk about this all the time and we're always looking for new and different ideas. I mean, we work with the NCSE on Cyber First programme, and that is bringing forward a pipeline of about 30% of women. And we're absolutely picking up graduates and apprentices there. I mean, we've moved the dial this year to about 26% of our graduates were female. And actually about 50% of our apprentices were female. And that's because I think they're getting in there earlier. So if they haven't done a computer science degree, as an example, we can help them with on-the-job experience as an apprentice. So I think apprenticeships are really great, and we're definitely fulfilling that, and we're still going for the graduates. But the real crux of it is, I think they put out a stat that only 21% of girls are doing GCSE computer science. And that's why we've got to get in at the school age. But we do lots of things in BT and in the wider industry. So we're working with industry partners, and we do things like Mind the Gap events, where we invite people from all different industries to come and talk to security professionals. We talk a bit like this on a panel, just about our careers, and then at the end we offer mentoring. We have women in tech events, women in security events, networking, but we're starting now to do more of the podcast so people can hear us, and really getting out there more. But I think also just on the recruitment side, there needs to be more that attract women. So more about keeping your country safe, helping keep people safer, saving lives. That's the kind of thing that attracts women to the industry, rather than a whole list of techie development skills or programming skills that you might have to come into this area. So I think there is lots of things, and we are doing lots of things, but we absolutely know we've got loads more to do as well.
I'm just thrilled at ISC Squared at the moment, because we're walking the talk, and I don't know if any of you are aware, but we've just appointed our new CEO, who is female, first female in our organization to be the CEO, and at the helm of the cybersecurity membership body. I'm absolutely thrilled. And her first presentation to the organization, she was very clear that she is passionate about diversity, equity, and inclusion. And I'm speaking with her tomorrow to just look at what more can we do and how we can do that. And, you know, I applaud our board because our board clearly went out to look for talent. And I've heard what the panelists have said, absolutely, you need talent, but you've also got to give women the opportunity to apply, and you've got to have a mixed pool. And she came out, you know, as the CEO, and it's like, wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of tendency, I think, in the tech industry to blame the pipeline for the lack of women in the industry, and I don't buy that. The reason why I don't buy it is I'm perhaps more of a rarity in my level of seniority for being a computer science graduate than I am for being a woman. You know, a lot of the leadership teams I sit on, there's no one else who's got a computer science degree, so that's clearly not the only route into the industry. So I think, you know, let's stop blaming that as the reason for the gender disparity. And if you look back to what the industry looked like in the 70s and 80s, even, there were way more female coders than there are today. And if you look at sort of the interest levels at junior school age, you know, girls are just as interested in maths and science and so on, all the STEM subjects, and then it kind of sort of almost the societal conditioning takes over, and the interest kind of drops off. So that definitely needs to be addressed. But one of the kind of biggest challenges is those women who are in technical roles, who start their careers. It's great to get them on board. But one of the things that erodes their progression is what I would refer to as benevolent sexism, in that when there's a woman in a technical team, she will more often than not be given the administrative aspects of running the team, the communications, the less technical roles, which then makes it harder and harder to keep the technical skills up to date. And I know it's something that I've had to kind of battle against throughout my career. But not everybody's as stubborn as me, as belligerent perhaps, and I know that it's probably given me a particular reputation in some cases for being spiky, I think is a phrase that I've heard used about myself, and I think that's something that organisations really need to be aware of, you know, in terms of how, when you have teams, how the workload is distributed, because then what happens to those women is they often end up kind of incrementally moving away from the very technical roles into managerial roles, which, you know, which are just as valid, but it creates this kind of like female brain drain in the hardcore tech roles.
I mean, I did see a frightening stat just yesterday that half of women in tech roles quit tech roles by the age of 35. So you've given an example of some of the reasons why that might be. How do we overcome the lack of an inclusive environment for them to find?
Well, I think, I mean, the responsibility sits with leaders in the tech industry, really, to kind of understand their own behaviours and drivers. So when tasks are being assigned, decisions are made about who's doing what, to really be mindful of those kind of things and be equipped with that kind of information, so they don't fall into this kind of trap of repeating kind of past behaviours. But it can be quite difficult to get people to have the appetite, and you know, when I've raised this with people, they don't necessarily see what the problem with it is. They think it's free choice, and without getting too existential about it, well, it's not free choice, it's conditioning, and we don't even know when it's happening to ourselves sometimes. So I think that there's kind of an urgent need to look at say sort of management and leadership training, to make sure that what inclusive and non-inclusive behaviours really are. There are the very overt ones, which are obvious and kind of easy to tackle, but it's this dripping tap of everyday kind of micro decisions that erode the choices that people make for themselves.
I would agree with that, actually, Mivi, but you've got to have it from the top down. You've got to make sure that it's built into KPIs and things like that, and they're incentivized to actually work towards gender parity, in my view. And you know, for me, this is one of the reasons why I joined Accenture as an MD. It's just that commitment to 50-50 gender parity by 2025. And I know from having some conversations with, again, other people in the industry, acquisitions and things like that. So companies are not as attractive to other companies sometimes because they haven't got the gender parity, because that is waning.
To me, Tony, most important, the cornerstone probably of the whole game change thing would be the educational system. I think part of the problem, because my son goes to British school, and I actually observe how it is bending girls from the very beginning, and this is something that we have to learn. One of the things probably from Soviet Union and their educational system. So to me, this is crucial. Meanwhile, and addressing what Jane said about parity, probably again being Russian, I'm sorry, and I understand that the rules that that are given to you top from the top, these are the rules that can be easily, bended to the benefits of those in charge. And to me, we have to find a way to expose the role models. That's important.
To the question of why women leave in their 30s, let's face it, a lot of it has to do with having children. And we have to make the opportunities in a way that is conducive to being a mother or a parent rather, and being able to work. So the flexibility, the kind of, remote COVID made sort of all of us forced us into remote working, but those kind of structures were not in place for many women that forced them to give up their full-time careers.
I suppose move the conversation on from it being an exclusively female responsibility to be a parent. What I've not mentioned him, but one of the things that enables my career to be what it is shared parenting responsibility with my husband, making it more of a joint responsibility and not patronizing women by making decisions for them as to, oh, well, she's got a young child, she won't want to do that role because it has travel. Always ask and put it back to the individual because the answer is often for the right role, I'll find a way of making it work.
I think really with the women exiting, we need to do the data, we need to do the research, because right now it's just like, again, from looking at the information I had in the book, it was established actually through research that the reason that they were leaving wasn't on account of motherhood. So we don't know yet why they're leaving. And COVID has reset everything. The way that we were working, we're not going to go back to that, and we're moving forward. So I really believe this is the time of the woman. We have so many opportunities, and what you set your mind to do, you can achieve. We're living in such blessed times, and so for me, it's like looking at the flexibility for all people, and so that could be parents, it could be carers. It could be, say, we're talking about women today, women who want a career break, or maybe they want to go and try something else, move from security into another industry, maybe come back, who knows? But it's really providing that flexibility for all people so we don't get stereotyped and pigeonholed, like we still are now. So it is up to the messages to come out, the visible role models to come out and to communicate these messages that we've all been sharing today.
I think just to finish off, we need to continue to be great role models and continue to do events like this to get people to aspire to and understand the industry and to jobs. But most importantly, I think we need to be women supporting women, and I think that's exactly what we're doing.
So that's really been a fascinating discussion. As I say, we've barely scratched the surface, but I'm afraid we're going to have to end it there. We've run out of time. For the panelists yourselves, for the judges and for the winners, we will be continuing discussions during breakout chat rooms at the end of this event. But right now it's time to actually introduce the winners themselves, the most inspiring women in cyber 2020 UK.
BAE Systems Applied Intelligence is really delighted to be sponsoring these awards and supporting this initiative to help raise the profile of women in the cybersecurity industry, making them more visible to potential new entrants and highlighting the achievements of some of the leading lights. In fact, whilst I was thinking about what to say by way of introducing these awards, someone reached out to me to be connected to a colleague to find out more about a path into cyber careers, as she noticed they shared the same degree from reading an article that we recently published on women in cybersecurity. That speaks volumes about the importance of making female role models visible. This year, one of the most important cybersecurity roles in the UK is now held by a woman, Lindy Cameron, as she has recently taken up the post of head of the National Cybersecurity Centre, the public-facing section of GCHQ that heads up the UK's public response to cyber attacks impacting businesses and the country at large. Spoiler alert, it feels a little cheeky to be introducing these awards knowing that I am one of the winners myself. I would love to have the opportunity to publicly recognise each and every woman that I know who deserves to be named, many of whom I'm proud to have as colleagues at BAE Systems. At BAE Systems, we're tackling the industry's gender gap increasingly seriously, from entry-level careers through to leadership, and I'm delighted by the number of initiatives that we get involved in both internally and externally for this cause, not least supporting Cyber First and STEMettes. We've recently released a short video in celebration of Ada Lovelace Day, the original female pioneer in computing, profiling some of my amazing colleagues. So now over to the next batch of tonight's winners.
Firstly, I'm extremely grateful to be considered among the top inspiring women in cybersecurity today. I'm also grateful for the opportunity to actually wear grown-up clothes, put my hoops on and put some makeup on. But seriously, what really motivates me in my role is knowing the work that I do every day keeps organizations and their people protected from the evolving threat landscape. Cybercriminals are increasingly targeting people, not networks, not infrastructure or devices. They're not trying to hack those vulnerabilities or leverage those vulnerabilities. And my work involves taking organizations on that journey to realizing that the threat landscape has changed. And I help them understand the how and why and who within their organizations are being targeted and the controls they should implement to protect those people and ultimately overcome the evolving threat landscape. But on top of that, I am passionate about encouraging other women to progress or kick off their careers in cybersecurity, because this isn't a nice to have anymore, it's a must. We can only stay ahead of the cyber criminals if we have diversity in thought, diversity in ideas. And data shows that diverse teams make better and quicker decisions. So I'm really proud of the opportunity to talk to rooms full of people, give them advice on how to pursue a career in this field, and ultimately give them the determination that they need to know that they can do it too, if I did. And these events are really vital in promoting those female leaders, showing that, you know, anyone can do this, you can do this, you can have a career in this field. And, you know, fundamentally, it's paramount that organizations start harnessing their powerful female professionals to ultimately overcome the cyber risk as we see it today, because we can only do this if we do it together.
Thank you for this recognition. I'm humbled to be included alongside such a group of inspirational women. Awards like this create ambition and show thanks for all of the support we've had in achieving our goals. The National Cybersecurity Centre that I'm part of works with partners to open careers in cybersecurity for all. We're proud of the work that we have done to support the next generation of leaders, particularly women.
As the clinical lead for NHS England's Empower the Person portfolio, Dr. Indra Joshi, Director of AI at NHSX, oversees the national citizen-facing digital initiatives within the NHS, with a focus on evidence, data, digital health standards and policy for AI. Her impressive breadth of experience spans policy, governance, digital health and marketing, national project strategy and implementation. At the same time, Dr. Joshi is the Clinical Director of One Health Tech, a network that campaigns on the need and importance of better inclusion of all backgrounds, skill sets and disciplines in health technology. In addition to her position as Vice Chair for the British Computer Society Health, Dr. Joshi is an international speaker and consultant on digital health and a trained emergency medic.
Hi, I'm Didier. I'm absolutely honoured to have been recognised as one of the most inspiring women in Cyber 2020. Thank you to the judges for your support and nominations. I'm really so happy to have received this. A couple of words from me on reflection, looking at my journey through the cyber industry and my career history. The industry has really evolved, and it's fantastic to see the diversity and inclusion of varying individuals from different backgrounds, and watching the industry grow and evolve into where it is today, whereby it's somewhere that you can find all different types of careers and facets. And something that I'm really passionate about is drawing in all sorts of talent and individuals to really start to diversify the way in which our cyber industry is, works and thinks and moves. So I just wanted to say a big thank you, and it's fantastic to be here today. Cheers.
So much for this award. It's an honour to be recognised as a role model in cybersecurity and named alongside other women, many of whom I have the pleasure of meeting in person and all of whom I greatly admire. I look forward to a time when we're all able to meet properly and celebrate each other's successes. I'm sure you'll all agree the achievements of my fellow winners are certainly impressive and just goes to show that women in cyber are a fierce talent and that we make a significant contribution to the industry. I've been waiting my whole career for the tech industry to take action on closing its gender gap, and finally we've reached a point where there are some serious improvements being made. There's an appetite for action and progress is being made across all experience levels and role types.
Lisa Forte, partner at Red Goat Cybersecurity, is inspirational both in her day job and outside it. She's a mountaineer aiming to attempt to climb Mount Everest in May 2021. On top of her current role as partner at Red Goat Cybersecurity, Forte also co-founded the Cyber Volunteers 19 initiative, a 3,000-strong force of volunteers helping hospitals around Europe stay secure during the pandemic. Forte started her career working for companies that put armed guards on merchant vessels to protect them from Somali pirates. She moved into UK counter-terrorism intelligence and then into one of the UK police cybercrime units. She founded Red Goats 3 years ago to provide social engineering and cyber attack exercising expertise to companies around the world. Forte hosts a popular vlog, Rebooting, as well as starring in several documentary films, and is currently filming a series for a UK TV channel.
Thank you for honouring me with inclusion in what I'm sure is a really inspirational group of people. It's such a pleasure to receive a recognition like this. We are just such a great industry, and I'm just so excited to be every day in cybersecurity and to get more and more people to come and work in our industry. We've never been more relevant than ever as we go through digital transformation and COVID and things like that. Without the cybersecurity industry, we just can't be successful. So thank you very much for the recognition, and I'm absolutely chuffed.
A mentor, speaker and expert in cybersecurity, Diana Moldovan is the UK Cyber Operations Lead for Aviva, heading up its incident response and threat hunting team. She's passionate about giving back to the community and supporting people who want to start a career in cybersecurity, and collaborates with different organisations such as the NCSC and STEM Social to support schools and students. A diversity advocate, Moldovan is also a board member of She CISO Exec. She is a CISP, GCIH, GCIA, GSEC and Prince 2 certified professional with 9 years' experience in the cybersecurity industry, and often attends conferences and speaks on panels to share her expertise.
It's amazing to be thought of as someone that might inspire others, but I wanted to talk about what inspires me. Now, I'm a penetration tester and I've been a penetration tester for many years, but I wouldn't be where I am today without the help and the support of the people that I've worked with over the years. I've been lucky enough in my career to have relationships with really, really supportive colleagues, people that have shared their knowledge, taught me new techniques, showed me new tools, demonstrated what they were doing, imparted their knowledge into me, and supported me in developing myself. I've had mentors that have had more confidence in me than I had in myself, and those people have pushed me out of my comfort zone. They've made me try things that I didn't think I was ready for, and I've succeeded. That builds your confidence over time. It makes you a better consultant, it makes you a better person. And those supportive people that pushed me forward, that helped me on, those are the people that inspire me.
Colleen Rose has worked at financial giant Barclays since 2018, when she joined the firm as Infrastructure Controls Officer and CISO. She's now CISO of Barclays' UK arm, where she's responsible for security, including protecting the firm against cyber attacks amid a challenging security environment in the wake of COVID-19. Prior to Barclays, Rose spent 14 years at Unilever, where she held several senior roles encompassing security as well as IT.
Congratulations to all of the truly inspirational women that I read about in this nomination. I hope you are all celebrating. You really deserve it because you've been working so hard this year and in many years in front of this one. And it was really hard to judge between you. So to the finalists, to the highly commended, to everybody who works in our industry, you are amazing and you make a true difference. We are so lucky to have you. And I hope you celebrate all night. Cheers.
Hi, my name is Becky Pinkert. I'm the CISO for Aldermore Bank, and I was asked to be a judge on this year's Most Inspiring Women in Cyber UK 2020. It was an honour to be asked to participate, and the list of nominees that we were provided consisted of truly inspiring and outstanding women in our industry. It was a difficult challenge to whistle down to the final list, but we managed to do it. And each and every one of you has received the award more than deserves the accolade. Thank you for everything that you do for our industry. And again, congratulations.
Hi, I'm Mandy. I'm one of the judges, and thanks to Tony and everybody who organised this great event. And first of all, thanks to you for making this so blooming difficult, because this was a really hard set of applications and nominations to judge. And it showed, I think, to all of the judges, the huge diversity there is, the fantastic work that's being done by women in the cyber industry, whether it's security, whether it's innovation, whether it's AI or data or health, whatever it is, what you're doing is so, so important. And our role, I think, for all of us in the industry is to encourage and to celebrate that and to keep it growing. So if you entered this year, go and tell another 10 women to enter next, because we need to really keep this going. It was a fantastic privilege to be part of the judges. Enjoy your evening. We all have so much to do and so much to celebrate. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Amanda Finch. I'm the CEO of the Chartered Institute of Information Security. I was delighted and honoured to be invited to be one of the judges for this year. The standard was amazingly high, and there's some truly inspirational work being done. In fact, everybody that was nominated is a winner in my book. You certainly gave us some difficult decisions, but I'm very glad you did. And I'd like to thank you for inspiring me. Thank you, and carry on inspiring me. Fantastic. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. That's all I can say. I have judged all of you women, and every single one of you is inspiring, which is clearly why this is called Inspiring Women in Cybersecurity, because you all are. I've just been blown away by the quality of people. I didn't know there were so many incredible women out there doing amazing jobs. I think I've been in this industry 25 years. We have to keep going, pushing to get more women to our industry. And with you guys all trying to mentor and help and be caring and supportive, that's what we all have to do. So keep it up, ladies. I'm delighted to be one of the women in cybersecurity on this judging panel, and I'm delighted that all of you have just done such incredible jobs. It really kind of makes me feel happy that we've got so many great people out there doing such great jobs. Keep it up. Good luck.
It is really great to see such a wonderful demonstration of the positive and progressive role women play in cybersecurity. ISE Squared research data shows that women in the cybersecurity profession are committed to their roles for the long term. They view cybersecurity as a viable, rewarding career, and a solid majority of women plan to stay in the profession until retirement. The research found that a high percentage of women in cybersecurity already planned to work in the field even before starting in the profession, and that interest in pursuing a career in cybersecurity education is substantially higher among women, particularly those under the age of 45. Nonetheless, there is significant work to be done to grow the number of women in the industry and close the gender gap. But those that have already embarked on a career in cybersecurity are blazing a trail, And today is all about celebrating that success and progress. As one of the judges myself, I can attest to the impressive credentials of all of the nominees, and it really was difficult to whittle down the nominees to just 25. They all deserved to be winners. Our list of winners this evening is not in any particular order, so we will now introduce the final 6 winners. Yes, it should be 5, but we did have several that the judges scored equally, and so we extended the list. And here they are.
Hi there, it's Rowena here. Thank you so much for my nomination. I'm dead thrilled to be one of 2020's most influential women in cyber. That's awesome. And it's really great to see the tech industry taking diversity and inclusivity so much more seriously than it has in the past. As a society, we still have quite a long way to go before we can overcome mainstream prejudice about gender identity or skin colour or social class or disability. In fact, a lot of my work in data protection is about trying not to make technology make these things worse. Information technology is really powerful stuff, and as a wise man once said, with great power comes great responsibility. Thank you so much for your support.
Currently Assistant Chief Constable at West Midlands Police with responsibility for the crime portfolio, Jane Mear has been hugely successful since starting her career at the Metropolitan Police in 1996. At the Met, she was involved in numerous operations, including supporting the response to the 7th of July 2005 terrorist attacks and coordinating counter-terrorism policing for the 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games. Mear has been widely praised for her role as Head of Fraud and Cybercrime, leading MPS Enhanced Service, Falcon, Fraud and Linked Crime Online. Mear transferred to the West Midlands Police in 2016 to become the local policing commander for Wolverhampton. She then became Director of Intelligence in 2018 before being appointed as Assistant Chief Constable in May 2019.
Wow, thank you for the incredible honour of being selected as one of the inspiring women in cyber for 2020. Thank you to IT Security Guru for hosting the event and to all the sponsors who are contributing to the evolution of this fascinating industry. But most of all, thank you to the fantastic ladies on the judging panel, all incredible forces in the cybersecurity industry. You inspire us all. As for me, I fell into cybersecurity by accident 12 years ago and never looked back. This industry is fast-moving, multifaceted, sometimes annoying, often surprising, but certainly never boring. It should equally appeal to those that are technologically minded and those that are not, but mostly what I love about it is that people are always willing to help. And we need more ladies to join our ranks. So thank you again for brightening my day in an otherwise very challenging year.
A military veteran, Elizabeth Murray took up her current cybersecurity awareness, culture and training role at HSBC operations after a 20-year career in the military. During that time, Murray became the first female tactical air traffic controller, an air defence missile gunnery instructor, and held the role of military project manager in a high-tech simulation training facility. It was this last role where she says she honed the skills that she now employs in cyber in the banking world. Specialising in education, Murray uses expertise as a suicide first aid instructor, human resilience specialist and mental health first aider to deliver human factors-led diversity and inclusivity awareness training.
Good evening, I'm Didar Gelici. I am as surprised as much as I'm honoured to receive this award. Thank you for the judges and the panel and everyone who made this possible. I've been in the industry for 13 years and been active in several women and tech communities for the last few years. When I started my career, I looked up to strong and assertive women as my role models. We still have a lot to learn from them. At the same time, I think we also need more millennial and even Generation Z role models to join their ranks and show us what the next generation needs from their leaders. As we heard from the panel tonight, it is extremely important to increase the diversity into our industry. Our attackers think in many diverse ways, so why won't we? There are a lot of new and ongoing initiatives to get more diversity and inclusion, and hopefully in a few years we won't be needing women-specific awards, and that we will have enough numbers to have fair comparison among all our peers. Hope you enjoy the night, and thank you again.
A well-known name in the industry, Poppy Gustafsson is CEO of Darktrace, a company that has reached a $1.65 billion valuation in under 5 years while she's been at the helm. She's also a qualified chartered accountant, having previously served as the company's CFO. Prior to Darktrace, Gustafsson held financial controller positions in the technology and venture capital sector. In the Birthday Honours 2019, Gustafsson was awarded an OBE in recognition of her services to cybersecurity. Her focus now is taking Darktrace forward to a future that includes red teaming and cyber risk analysis, executed by AI.